Now at 6, we are dealing with our first winter storm warning of the season. I'm going to have all those details.
Plus, road crews prepare to try to keep the travel as safe as possible, and losing power can be scary, possibly dangerous. We're going to hear from area experts on staying safe during an outage.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The coming storm is going to bring snow and dangerously cold temperatures. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. We go straight to Doug Heddy with a first look at the weather.
Well, of course, winter storm warnings in effect or go into effect as we head into tomorrow. This is all the counties in the pink, and usually for this part of the country, you need to have a prediction of 6 inches of snow to get a winter storm warning. We're not going to get 6 inches of snow, but we're going to have near whiteout conditions with the winds. So that is enough to issue that winter storm warning. Now, all the counties here in the purple, winter weather advisory, as snow limits will be a little bit lower. You can see into tomorrow evening. Plus everybody, wind chill warnings all the way into Saturday morning, as it's going to be super windy and of course super cold. We do have some pockets of very light drizzle out there, and this is pretty much what we're going to see as we go through the evening hours. If you do have Christmas shopping to do, get it done this evening. And here's our band of snow, which is starting to get going right across parts of Nebraska. Look at this front, Arctic fronts, minus 14 behind it in Rapid City, and all that colder air is going to head toward us. Plus our snow chances go way up. We're going to break this all down for you here in just a bit.
All right, we'll catch you in a few. Road crews everywhere, including MoDOT, the city of Joplin, are preparing to clear roads. KOAM's Jalen Banks has more.
Like many places across the country, Joplin will be receiving its own inclement weather. But the city, along with MoDOT, are ahead of the curve.
We're just making sure our equipment is good to go, double checking the plows for movement up, down, left, right. And then, of course, we're just making sure we got the staff ready to go, because we utilize not only our maintenance staff, but we have supplemental help from other departments, and we have emergency help from the outside as well.
The Southwest District of MoDOT will have over 20 plows, and Joplin will have 10. In a statement from the city for prepping the roads and removal, they said, "The city presumes there will be weather events in the coming planning year, so we order supplies well in advance of the wintry weather. Our crews and equipment are ready, and we ask citizens to use good judgment if they need to go out during the weather event." Hammond Link also says there are specific routes that MoDOT will focus on.
So we cover all the state routes, which includes the interstates, the U.S. routes, the Missouri routes. We do cover the lettered routes as well, which are kind of called our secondary routes, if you will. So when we plow, we obviously focus on the interstates and major routes first to get them to near normal before we transition over to the secondary routes, which are typically the lettered routes, and some of the lower volume numbered routes as well.
Both the city and MoDOT make sure that they get their salt supply in the spring to ensure that they have it in time for the winter. In Joplin, Jalen Banks, KOAM News.
You can find information on winter safety tips, closings, and road condition resources on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. And a little bit later in this newscast, some expert tips on how to protect your family in the event of a power outage. The Ozarks Drug Enforcement Team spent part of its morning searching a Joplin home today. Commander Chad Allison says the team and Joplin SWAT served a narcotics search warrant in the 2100 block of South Virginia. Detectives seized what they call a large amount of suspected meth from that home. The commander says charges are currently pending against 2 people who were in the house. 6 agencies respond to a manhunt and standoff in Cherokee County, Kansas that ended in the suspect taking his own life. Started shortly after 4 p.m. yesterday. The Cherokee County Sheriff's deputies responded to a wooded area west of Baxter Springs. Authorities say 46-year-old Joseph Gonzalez fled after pistol whipping a woman in the head. According to the Cherokee County Sheriff, the gun jammed when the suspect tried to shoot the woman. After hours of searching, authorities found Gonzalez hiding in a camper closet. Deputies say Gonzalez then shot and killed himself. The injured woman was treated at a local hospital and released. The Economic Security Corporation of Southwest Missouri is helping area seniors and pets. They visited the Area Agency on Aging, presenting pet supplies for volunteers to take with them when they deliver Meals on Wheels to seniors.
That's the right thing to do, number one. These pets for seniors, they're not just pets, they're family. And so, I mean, I know how I feel about my own pet. And so you want them to be happy as well.
The Area Agency on Aging is at 531 East 15th Street in Joplin. A lot of toys are going around the Christmas tree at Joplin's Ronald McDonald House. Freeman Auxiliary volunteers delivered the donations to spread a little cheer to the families who stay there. The Ronald McDonald House, of course, provides shelter for the families of hospitalized children. Coming up, a search continues for a missing Cherokee County, Kansas woman 31 years after her mysterious disappearance. We're going to hear from her loved ones. Plus, a former Joplin All-State wide receiver finds a new home in college. We're approaching a milestone birthday of a woman who disappeared mysteriously in Cherokee County, Kansas 31 years ago. And the search continues. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to Carol Solon's loved ones and to Sheriff Groves about efforts to find answers.
Carol Solons went missing on August 31st, 1991 from her job in Galena, Kansas. She was 18 years old. Her family is still looking for answers.
I think more than anything, I regret that she didn't get to grow up with us and get to meet the additions to the families that we've all had. Somehow we've had to move on, and unfortunately for her, she hasn't.
Despite yearning for closure, the family still remembers Carol's fiery personality.
Carol had that free spirit.
Bubbly.
She was just, all over the place. She was funny. She was charismatic. She was a hoot. She was fun.
The Cherokee County Sheriff Office is still leading the charge for closure.
Who was involved with her disappearance isn't necessarily what we're seeking information on, but we are seeking information on her remains, and mainly to provide closure to her family. And again, there is a $30,000 reward for information that leads to Carol's remains.
Sheriff Groves is hopeful answers are found as technology advances.
As time goes by, technology advances, and so we're currently working with an organization that we're hoping to get our hands on a piece of equipment that might aid in our ability to search some areas.
After 31 years of searching for Carol, hope keeps her loved ones afloat.
Hope is a lot of things.
Yeah,
you know, what do we hope for? You know, do we hope she comes home alive? Yeah. Do we hope that she's out there somewhere and not known? Yes. Reality, we don't believe so. We just hope we could have closure.
Reporting in Cherokee County, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
December 23rd is Carol's 50th birthday. Her loved ones still gather at her last known location to remember what they call her bright spirit. Police have identified a man accused of robbing a bank in Bixby, Oklahoma on Friday morning. Now, Bixby police say Xavier Michael Bobadar is accused of robbing a Tulsa teachers credit union and was taken into custody following that robbery. Xavier Bobadar is also known as a die-hard Kansas City Chiefs fan who dresses up as a wolf to attend home and road games. Bobadar's bond set at $200,000. None of the bank employees or witnesses were hurt. A little bit later, we're going to hear from the Kansas City Chiefs on their upcoming matchup against the Seattle Seahawks.
Plus, we have our first winter storm of the season working in tonight. We'll give you those details coming up. Well, of course, we have big changes rolling in as we go through about the next 12 to 15 hours. Our first Arctic front of the season heading toward us. You can already see it working in the northwestern parts of Kansas. And this isn't just cold air. This is brutally cold air. Look at Rapid City, minus 14. So this is dangerously cold air, which is plowing across the state of Kansas right toward us as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. As of right now, if you are getting out this evening, in general, okay. We are going to have some pockets of drizzle. It's 44. Southerly winds are light. Humidity is at 45%. But as we go through the overnight hours, temperatures will slowly drop. But once we plummet, we're really going to go down as we head through the morning hours for us tomorrow. You can see the clouds, a little bit of drizzle out there. We've actually had some freezing drizzle over toward Wichita, but most of us are dry at this point in time. I do think we'll get some drizzle starting to pick up a little bit later on tonight. Look at the light snow showers near Kansas City, and then here's our band of snow already getting going across central and western parts of Nebraska, and eventually that will make it here late tonight into tomorrow morning. Plus, here comes the Arctic front. It's going to slide in. So here's about 4 a.m. The front is working through. We get the band of snow behind it. It's not a big band, so it doesn't last very long. And then this whole system pulls off toward the east, and our temperatures plummet behind this system. So let's go hour by hour through time. Here's 10:30 p.m. Light drizzle, northern counties, most of us mid-30s. After midnight, here comes the front, still mid-30s, but our northern counties, you guys switch to freezing drizzle, and that will immediately cause the roadways to ice up. The front continues to slide to the southeast. Here's 4:30 in the morning. Through the metro now, we have freezing drizzle. As we continue into the morning hours, here come the bands of snow. Look at this, 7 a.m., single digits, teens for most of us. Then as we go through mid-morning, this is going to be probably our heaviest band of snow. It's going to be light to moderate, but our heaviest of our light to moderate snow. Temperatures dropping into the single digits. Most of the accumulating snow starts to get out of here by noon, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But look at our temperatures by tomorrow evening. Everybody about 1 to 3 degrees, and then with the snowpack, we drop below 0 for overnight lows tomorrow night into Friday morning. All right, snowfall amounts in the lighter blue, 1 to 2 inches. Once you get to Pittsburgh, Miami, Joplin, east, 2 or 3 inches. I put 4 up there because we are going to have some isolated 4-inch amounts, especially just to our east. Snow chances shoot up. Here's 4 a.m., 6 a.m., 8 a.m., 10 a.m., and then you can see them start to taper off once we get into the afternoon. Impacts, of course, snow impacts on the road. A moderate impact of ice because we are going to have that freezing drizzle. Of course, cold and wind is going to be a huge impact. We're going to have winds gusting 35, 40, 45 miles per hour at times. So this means wind chill factors, check this out, by tomorrow evening, minus 25 to minus 30. It stays this way all the way into Friday morning, so it's dangerously cold across the region. Here's your day planner. Balmy 20 at 7, 5 by noon, 2 by 5 p.m. So we just go the wrong direction all day long. An alert day, of course, an alert day on Friday due to wind chill factors still sitting minus 10 on Friday afternoon. We do get to 18 on Christmas Eve, 27 on Christmas Day. So as long as the snow works out, it's not going anywhere by Christmas.
So it's going to be a white Christmas.
It should be,
It's
yes.
going to be a bitterly, dangerously cold Christmas. I hope
Especially the next 2 days.
People have to be careful. Check on their elderly neighbors. Let's just watch out for each other or
Yes.
pets, for sure. Thanks, Doug. If you don't have a wood-burning stove or fireplace, you might need to think ahead of what you would do if you should lose power in these bitterly cold temperatures. KOAM's Carrie Worthen talks with professionals on how to stay warm in case of a power outage.
That is an indoor, it's still a propane heater.
Christopher Huffman, manager of Hingles Ace Hardware, says that propane or kerosene is great in emergency situations like power outages. However, you need to be cautious.
Make sure that they are rated indoor safe because you do not want to build up of carbon monoxide in the house and face the possibility of a poisoning or anything like that.
Whether for flashlights, radios, or heaters, make sure you have batteries. If you have rechargeable ones, make sure they are charged.
I'm not sure about the electrical outage other than I will keep battery supplied heaters and flashlights on hand and candles as well.
Derek Crow with Carthage Water and Electric Plant says there is a possibility of power outages. He says anyone using a generator should make sure that there's good ventilation.
Being one, don't put a generator in your garage or your house. The next one is probably your wood stove or fireplace, using wood to heat your home. And make sure you have plenty of blankets and water.
You can never be too safe when it comes to preparing for weather. In Carthage, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
Crow also reminds Carthage residents specifically to get CWP's app to alert them of outages. Still ahead, the Carthage boys hit the floor for the Hy-Vee Holiday Shootout in Kansas City. And Galena's Tyler Little commits to play for Division I Arkansas State football. Jacob Leonard has that and more up next.
Carthage High School boys basketball team is in action this evening at the Hy-Vee Holiday Shootout in Kansas City. Carthage is 3-3 this season after falling to Parkview last time out. Now tonight, facing a team out of Arkansas in the Van Buren Pointers. That one is over. It was a great game, but Carthage falls just short, 47-45. Clay Kinder and Max Templeman each scored 10 points for the Tigers. Carthage will be back in action next Tuesday, playing in the U.S. Bank Holiday Classic in Rolla, Missouri. At the college level, Kansas State Wildcats 10-1 to start the season, hosting Radford today. Kansas State wins a good one, 73-65. Naquan Tomlin leads the way for the Wildcats with 26 points. Well, after 3 straight road games, the Kansas City Chiefs return home this weekend to face the Seattle Seahawks. And the Chiefs are 11-3 heading into the weekend and have already clinched the AFC West title. This one's still an important game, though, with the Chiefs still fighting for the #1 seed in the AFC playoffs. On Saturday, the Chiefs' pass defense will be put to the test against Seattle, one of the best passing offenses in the NFL. And the Chiefs will have the tough task of slowing down All-Pro wide receiver DK Metcalf.
Sometimes I go on the internet and try to get pictures for my meetings and stuff, and there was a picture of Metcalf without a shirt on. And I'm like, good God, I mean, what a stud. Right, reminded me of T.O. when I had T.O. and we had T.O. in Philadelphia. But talked about it all week long. We got to find ways to maybe get 2 on him. He's a go-to guy, and even I watch teams that double him at times, and sometimes that doesn't make a difference because he's just so physically bigger and stronger than the guy he's going against. But we got to limit those kind of plays.
Well, today is National Signing Day, and we have a few local guys moving on to big-time college programs. We'll start with former Webb City offensive lineman Landon Beebe. And Beebe is joining head coach Deion Sanders at Colorado to finish his college career. He spent the last 3 years at Missouri State, where he was a 3-time All-Conference player and a 2-time captain. In his high school career, Beebe was a 2-time All-State offensive lineman for Webb City and helped him go 15-0 and claim the state title as a senior in 2017. Former Joplin High School standout wide receiver Zach Westmoreland signs today to join the football program at Southern Illinois. He spent the last 2 seasons at Eastern Michigan. In high school, he was a 3-time All-State player for Joplin and had a monster senior year. Westmoreland had 1,600 yards and 21 touchdowns, helping the Eagles finish as state runner-up in 2019. Finally, Galena's Tyler Little commits to play tight end for Arkansas State today. Now, Little is a 6'5", 240-pound multi-sport standout, earning all-state honors in both football and basketball. He did a bit of everything for the Bulldogs this year with 357 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns, plus 937 rushing yards and 9 more scores on the ground. And that's a look at sports. We're back after this.
Take time to honor a local Vietnam War veteran. Jesse Satchin served in the U.S. Army from 66 to 68. The Oronogo, Missouri native served in the 1st Cavalry, and we're proud to salute Specialist 4th Class Jesse Satchin, a 4-state hero. Now you can see the Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky's address to Congress live in just a couple of minutes on our sister station Fox 14. Then a summary of that address on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 as well. Let's check back in with Doug Heddy. It's getting colder, will be soon.
Yeah, the Arctic front is heading toward us. It's going to be here at about 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning. Temperatures will start to drop. Light snow and freezing drizzle picking up early morning.
Be careful out there, and let's make it a great evening.